Of signing the agreements is now over. I now kindly ask the President of the Republic of Uganda, Mr. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to now take the floor.
Your Excellency, President Vučić, and the government of Serbia, my delegation and myself are very happy to be here on your invitation. We have had very useful discussions, and as I told you, Serbia, through Yugoslavia, is not new to us. In the 1950s, 1960s, we had very good relations with Yugoslavia under Marshal Tito. And I told you how we used to follow the stand of Marshal Tito during that time, especially the neutral position he kept between the quarrel between the Soviet Union and China. That time they were all socialists, they were all communists, but they had disagreements. But Marshal Tito refused to take sides and remained neutral, and we admired him for that. Our elders, like Mwalimu Nyerere, the president of Tanzania at that time, who was our senior person, appreciated him so much. Marshal Tito, together with Nkrumah and with Nasser of Egypt, and with Sukarno of Indonesia, were the champions of the non-aligned movement. I told you how I welcomed Elbrad Kardej at the University of Dar es Salaam as one of my guests when I was a student leader. Then Yugoslav companies, especially one called Enago Project, built very good structures in Uganda. There's one structure which is very famous, known as the Nile International Conference Center and Hotel. This was built by the Enago Project, hired by the Uganda government in 1970. Then 1986, we brought them back, and they rehabilitated the Nile Conference Center, and they also rehabilitated the Sheraton. And through barter trade, we worked with them, and they built a very good road between a place called Mitiana and another place called Mubende. And then we bought quite a number of things from Yugoslavia, including boats known as Alinda, which we still have for our marines on Lake Victoria. Unfortunately, Yugoslavia was involved in some internal issues. There was a little bit of disconnection, but now I'm very glad that you are stable and you are developing, and I am back here to resume our collaboration. Thank you very much.
And we have prepared for Mr. President Museveni some documents, photos, notes from these meetings. Mr. Museveni, President Museveni, is a man with outstanding experience, and talking directly to him I could learn a lot. And you see that Mr. President Museveni remembers Edvard Kardelj, he remembers the dissidents of Yugoslavia, he remembers Gilas, how he and Tito went on, and I could learn a lot from President Museveni also about current political situation in Africa, the speed of African growth. Africa in total has 1.5 billion population much bigger than India, but Africa is developing, moving forward. In 30 years, we'll have more than 2.5 billion people in Africa, and it will become then one of the biggest, most important markets in the world after Asia. We talked about many important issues. I'm very grateful to President Museveni for standing by the international law, and that because Uganda is supporting the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Serbia, of the whole Serbian territory in international fora, international organs, we do reciprocally for Uganda and all African countries. What is very important for us, we talk about international cooperation. Before the end of August, 1 or 2 ministers, a head of delegation from Serbia will visit Uganda to talk about possible cooperation in agriculture. Firstly, we'll talk about it in the business forum, in other areas, in defense. We already had some cooperation in the years before us. Behind us, we think we can improve this cooperation of ours, and let me tell you, in 2050 Uganda will have more than 100 million inhabitants. Today Uganda has more than 40 million people who cannot follow this quick growth in Africa. Uganda in 2050 will be one of the youngest countries in the whole world. Huge potentials. And we will talk at the business forum about it, what is very important for us. Mr. Museveni, President Museveni respects private property a lot. He knows that you cannot have successful economy if the state owes everything. That's very important for our investors. President Museveni invited me for the big Congress of Non-Alignment in 2024 in January. It's an extreme honor for me as a head of state, head of Serbian state, to attend in Kampala this non-alignment meeting. But what I think is also very important for people in Uganda and us here, we had a growth and spreading of our national air company, many new lines. Serbia is flying many new lines, but in the future we will have to focus some strategic points in Africa, and Kampala and Uganda can be one of the places, one of the hubs for us in Africa where we can look towards. And Mr. President, I wish you the best of health, and I wish you to do a lot of good with your collaborators for our friendly people of Uganda, and we will do our best to translate into reality, to concretize the agreements we have signed today, and to